In this video, we're going to be looking at FTP accounts. I'm going through the process of creating FTP accounts for all the students that don't already have them. Here at Gateway, we utilize a web server called Kronos, and if you want to visit Kronos, the URL is kronos.gtc.edu. This is our splash page here that you can land on. But this web server address is one you'll become very familiar with because that's where you're going to be uploading all your work, and it will get stored on the server and then will be publicly accessible. Not only is it publicly accessible, but over time it'll actually be Google searchable. So be really careful what you post. All right, but I have created accounts for all of you, and those accounts have a username and a password. All the usernames will be first initial, last name. We haven't run into first initial, last name conflicts yet. We don't have too many John Smiths or anything like that. But if we get to that situation, I'll let you know. I also generated a password for you. Those of you that are here in class, the way I set them up is it's usually like a two-word combination and a number. Each word begins with a capital letter, in case you're curious. So I think that will explain enough. Those of you who are online, the way that I'm going to distribute your username and password, I will embed it into the grade book. So you would go to where your grades are in Blackboard, and there would be a listing with your username and password. Okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about what FTP is first, because the accounts that we're creating are FTP accounts. And File Transfer Protocol, which is for FTP, is a mechanism where we can copy your files to the server. There's a number of different pieces of software we can use to accomplish this. Now, interestingly enough, with Microsoft Windows, you don't actually need standalone software to FTP. There's a couple different ways you can do it within the operating system that don't require special software. One is you can actually do it from the command line. That's the way I learned originally, not a way I recommend because it's really easy to make mistakes. The other way is to actually use the File Explorer window, where you can actually type FTP addresses right here, and it will launch right to the FTP server. Now, while this works in a pinch, highly not recommended. It causes all sorts of problems for all sorts of reasons. So the tool that I'm going to push you to use is one that you'll see here on the resources page of our course shell. So if you come over to the left-hand side menu here, click on resources, it'll land you on this page. And you can see I have a little posting here for FTP. Now, I know that some of the information that I have here is actually a little dated. The one piece of information that I'm actually going to go through the process of probably editing in all the course shells is the fact that right here, see this where it says Mercury? Mercury was our old web server. We now have Kronos. And then everybody's like, well, what does Kronos mean? All right, so you guys want to know what it means? We were trying to come up with a name for the server, and we thought, okay, well, the other one was Mercury, maybe we'll name it like Neptune or Mars or something like that. And we're like, oh, that's kind of cool, but that's too normal. So all of us web people are like Star Trek fans, right? So Kronos is the Klingon homeworld, if you're wondering. All right. Right, makes no sense at all. Okay, so the thing that we're going to do now is we're going to look at the different pieces of software that you can use on different operating systems. In general, as an FTP tool, I recommend using FileZilla. If you follow this link that I have here, it'll take you to the FileZilla website, and there's the big download button. It should auto-recognize your operating system and give you a big download button relative to it. Most of us are going to be on Windows. The cool thing is that it has the exact same look and feel on all the operating systems. So even on a Macintosh, it'll look the same. On a Linux machine, it will look the same. If you do work on a Mac, there's another piece of software that I have a link for called Fetch. And Fetch is kind of neat. It is free, sort of. If you download the product and register using a .edu email address, like your school email address, you can have it for free. Any other kind of email address, you have to pay. But what's neat on the Macintosh is that it integrates really nicely with Finder. Finder is Macintosh's file management system. So I know we got at least one Mac person in the room, so you might want to explore this. But if you don't want to tread here, FileZilla is really the tool of choice. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to launch FileZilla on my machine. So I already have it installed. All the school machines here have it pre-installed. If you're using your own machine, please download it first, install it, pause this video obviously, and then come back and join us. Alright, so I'm launching FileZilla, where it's asking me to update. I'm kind of ignoring that right now. But this is the interface that you get with FileZilla. And there's really not a lot to it in terms of just getting it to work, and that's our focus here. In the upcoming weeks and upcoming courses, you will learn a lot about this piece of software and how powerful it really is. But right now, we're just looking at rudimentary connection to the server. So up here in the box where it says host, you are going to type the name of our web server, which is kronos.gtc.edu. You will add your username, then the password I assigned to you, and once you have those two things typed in, you just click Quick Connect, and what should happen is on the right-hand side of the screen, you should get a listing of your folders on Kronos. For those of you that have fresh accounts, all that you will see there is public HTML and a symbolic link for www. Okay, I'm going to pause the video here for the moment to kind of get you guys all up to that point, and then we'll resume after that. All right, pausing the video. All right, we spent a little bit of time here in class getting everybody connected and making sure they could access their account. And now that we're back, we're going to launch a very simple text editor. All the machines here in the classroom have this piece of software. For those of you at home watching the video that don't have this piece of software, it's called Notepad++, and this is one of many different tools that we're going to use here in class. So if you need to download a copy, just simply type Notepad++ in your address bar, and it should bring you to this website. And just go ahead and download it and install it. For Mac users, this product does not work on a Mac as far as I know, unless they have a Mac version. Maybe they do and I'm just not aware of it. If you are working on a Mac and need a free text editor that's good, I recommend Text Wrangler. That's a really good one. The other one that's really good is Brackets, and I will talk about these products next week. So we'll go into those in some detail. All right, so for right now, go ahead and launch your Notepad++, and when you get there, type Control-N to create a new file. Of course, if you've never used it before, it'll put you there anyhow. And then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the File menu and Save As. Notice what I'm doing, and if you guys aren't in that habit when you're working with any sort of a software program, create something new, save it immediately. First step. All right, and there's a couple different reasons for doing that. For right now, we're not really too worried about our file and folder management. We're just going to create a file, I'm going to throw it on the desktop, and we're going to upload it from there. And I'm doing that by intent. Our objective here is to get a file on the server and make sure we can access it. All right? So I'm going to call this file index.html. Lowercase is absolutely necessary, at least for files named this. Okay? No capital letters of any sort. It should be index.html. You guys good? All right. I'm going to click on my desktop here. That's where I'm going to store it. And the reason I'm doing that, I wouldn't normally store it there, but it's a quick and easy place to work for right now. And, you know, a lot of people do like to work there. So there it is. So very, very primitive. You guys are waiting to learn all your HTML, right? We're not going to type any HTML. We're just going to type hello. That's it. All right? And what this is going to show you is that simple text in an HTML file will just render. But the point here, remember, is to just do something brute force to make sure it works. So I did a Control-S to save the file. In Notepad++, when I make a change, see how the little icon here turned red? See how up here in front of the file name in the title bar, there's a little asterisk? As soon as I hit the Save icon, or do a Control-S, or go File, Save, the asterisk goes away and the little icon turns blue. All right, our next step is to go back to FileZilla. And then I'm on the left-hand side here, in the top area, I'm going to scroll all the way to the top and click on Desktop. In the section below, you need to scroll down and find your file. Click on it once to highlight it, not twice, because then it'll open. Or actually, it'll transfer is what it'll do. Is everybody with me? Okay. Now, just a really quick explanation before I make the transfer. The left-hand side of the screen are the files and folders on the machine you're working on. On the right-hand side of the machine are the files and folders on the server in your account. You don't see the whole folder structure of the server. You only see what your user account gives you access to. And that is your own folder structure. Now, on Kronos, the folder that I just highlighted, which is called Public HTML, that is the folder in which all of your web files that will be publicly accessible through a browser must go. So in order for me to upload this file, the first thing I need to do is double-click Public HTML. And you can see I've got all sorts of stuff in here, right? This is an account I actively use for teaching, so it's always getting stuff. So I'm going to come back over here to the left side of the screen. Now that I'm in that folder, yours should be empty if it's a new account. I'm going to click on that index.html file, and I'm going to click, drag, drop. That's it. Now if I look on the right-hand side, I should see the file listed. And the file is now on the server. If for some reason you know you did the transfer, like you saw the messages go through transfer successful, like if you go through here, file transfer successful, right? See that? If you're wondering what this is at the top, this is a running log of all the actions on the server. If you happen to not see it, do a right click and refresh. FileZilla from time to time will kind of have this little quirk where it doesn't refresh after an upload. Does not mean that the file's not there. Okay? So now that the file is there, now it's time to go to your browser. So in your browser, you will open up you will open up a new tab. So those of you watching the video are like, what did he just do? I kicked myself out of my own Hangout because I think somebody at home is using my Hangout for some reason and they're logged in. Okay. Go to your browser and type the following. The same address you use for the server, kronos.gtc.edu. At the end of that, you will put a / and then a tilde. A tilde is this. It's a sideways squiggle. Tilde is the shift of the reverse apostrophe key, which sits just above your tab key on most keyboards. Okay? And then you will type, not what I have in my URL, because that's autofilling. You will type your username. Mine's practice that. Until you see what my password is. And then a /. Believe it or not, that's all you need to type. Typically, you would type the full name of the URL, including the file. But because we named our file index, it will automatically load. So I'm about to press enter. And isn't that exciting? So as primitive as this is, you have an FTP account on the server, you connect it to the server, you uploaded a file, and you brought it up in your browser. It needs to be named index.
Oh no, I know that. What do we need to type it
in the URL?
Yeah.
Okay, in the URL, basically what you'll type is the chronosjet.gtc.edu.
Yeah.
And then I add to it the /, the tilde, and your username.
Oh, my username. Okay.
It's got to be all lowercase.
Yeah.
If you want, you can put a / after it too. But really, that's all you need, and it will render. So, what's that? Yeah, it's our old server. Questions? Correct. With Mercury, our old server, you had to establish a VPN connection. There are some things that you will do on Kronos that you will need a VPN connection for security reasons. For this, the only access that they're going to get is to your home directory, and that was a conscious decision that we made that you don't need VPN. So the instructions that are in the core shell, I'm going to be updating them so they read correctly for Kronos, because last year at this time, we didn't have Kronos available for everybody. It was like we were piloting it. So I did a little course copying, and that's why you see Mercury directives. All right, but that's the long and short of it. We will repeat this many, many, many times to the point where you become an expert. My goal is that the first night before you walk out of here is that you have the capability to do this, because when you turn in your homework for this class, for a majority of your assignments, you're just going to give me a link. And that's it. You'll do your work, you'll upload it to Kronos, you'll make sure that your link is working, then you give me that link. Simple as that. Next week we'll repeat this. You'll notice that there was no assignment this week about this, but in upcoming weeks there'll be an assignment just to do this, to show me that you can do it on your own. To prepare for next week, you guys, I'm going to end the recording here.